decisions today that will help the city to prosper. And we thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for such a beautiful day, and we pray for those that are less fortunate. And we ask that you provide them the things that they need. All these things we pray in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Amen. Stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's going to be an amendment to the agenda. Mr. Evans.
Thank you.
Well, not right now. It's going to be speaking about what street you on, sir?
South Burns.
South Burns.
Go ahead, Hunter South Burns.
Okay. About the beavers.
Yes.
Okay. That will be the addition to the amendment to the agenda. And that can fall under item number 29. That's under the city manager report.
Mayor, the only other thing we have is GMA district vote that we just got in the mail today,
Okay. All right. We'll add that to the agenda also.
number 30.
So yeah, number 29 and number 30. Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda with the two additions?
I'll make a formal motion to adopt it.
Second. All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous. Did you get everything you need? Who's?
I believe so.
Okay.
Mr. Blevins, give a second, right?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Item number 2 is the approval of the April 2015 minutes for April the 7th, 2015 regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous. Item number 3 is the city clerk's report for vacation sick pay and the revenues and expenditures.
You should have both in front of you. The leave report was submitted today. Ms. Leslie did not have it ready. I apologize for that shortcoming.
Are there any questions of the city clerk? If not, we'll move on to item number 4, the city attorney's report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, I furnished a copy with activities to pass month to all the councilmen and you, Mr. Mayor. Question was asked last month, was the advertising sufficient on the, something, I don't remember what we advertised, but for 2 weeks, and that, in my opinion, that is sufficient. We didn't have any federal or state funds involved in that, so we weren't getting into any other extraordinary rules. Now, in the event that we were dealing with some state or federal money,
the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number one is the Brooks County Library Board monthly report. I'm not sure Ms. Harrison is here. We'll move on from that one. Number two is an item request, a temporary street closing. The downtown business owners are requesting the closing of South Culpeper Street from Scrubbin Street south to East Johnson Street. The letter of request is attached.
I reviewed this document enough. Are we prepared to make this happen with the security from the police force?
Yes.
By our authorities?
The only thing that I would recommend that we do is we make sure all the other businesses located in that area are agreeable or have no objections to that type, closing that long. But other than that, we have no issues with it.
All right. So if the council review this document, are there any, sorry, I think we need to make the stipulation that the other businesses don't have a problem with it.
I think there's only one that I haven't checked yet, but I think we can make it with the notification of it.
I've corresponded through email with the Downtown Business Owners Association, and I've also attended a couple of their meetings in regard to this function. I think that it's going to be a magnificent function that they'll provide. I think that is a great opportunity to showcase some of our businesses that are not on the front street, and I just think that it's a great thing to deal with, for us to be a part of, and to grant them the opportunity to close the street. So we'll make a formal motion that we provide them the temporary street closing so that they can provide this function for the city.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions, concerns? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think we go back to item number one. Ms. Harrison has arrived.
Sorry, y'all. Got delayed at the library. I'll make it quick. I've got the report for April, and I've also got some information on our vacation reading club that's coming up. The theme this year is every hero has a story. And once again, we will be participating with the Path to College, which children who sign up for the vacation reading club get entered into a chance to win college scholarship money. So, in addition to having fun during the summer and reading and continuing on, so we're still working on our program, but we're going to have, again, movies on the theme of heroes. We're have special storytellers, and we also, as I've mentioned before, I'm delighted to say that the fire department and the police department and EMTs and other local heroes will be participating in the program, because we want to really highlight our local heroes in this program, as well as Superman and Batman and all those folks too. So, do appreciate all your support. Appreciate the city being willing to work with us with our outside lights. So we're excited. Thank you for all your support, and be glad to answer any questions or take any suggestions. And I apologize for being late, and I'll back out now because it's crowded here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
I would like to tell you all that Ms. Harrison is leaving us about 6 weeks or 2 months,
About
something
2
like that.
months,
And
yeah.
we're really going to miss her.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for it.
So, but we,
Item number three is a request from the Quitman Housing Authority. I think the mayor has that communication.
Yes. It's in reference to the appointment of the resident board commissioner. It says, "Dear Mayor Brown, this is to advise you that the Quitman Housing Authority's resident board member has resigned due to her moving, and as you are aware, the mayor of the city of Quitman should appoint another resident commissioner to serve on the authority's board. The board of the Housing Authority of the city of Quitman recommends that Mr. Willie Golden, whose address is 601 Highland Circle, Apartment 202, Quitman, Georgia, be appointed to the Authorities Board as Resident Commissioner. Mr. Golden's term will expire December 31st, 2019. Enclosed for you, your convenience is a certificate of appointment as required for our files. Once executed by you and the city clerk, the original should be returned to us, and you should maintain a copy for your files. Thank you in advance for your cooperation and assistance in this matter. Ms. Karen Wheeler, Executive Director. Is there a motion to accept their recommendation for Mr. Willie Golden at 601 Highland Circle, apartment number 202, Quitman, Georgia? The resident board commissioner.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, raise your hands. It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Item number 4 is American Red Cross, and I'm not sure our representative is here.
I was just gonna ask, is the American Red Cross representative in the hallway? Okay. Thank you.
Item number 5 is an update at the direction of the council. The following actions have been completed at Veterans Park. The metal building and roof and all has been pressure washed. Roof and gutter system has been cleaned of all debris. All the grounds were mowed and trimmed. The walking track was edged. Playground and parking area raked and debris removed. Water system we've evaluated and we are scheduling repairs. Gutter system, we do not have the required materials to replace missing or damaged gutter spout drains, so I'm gonna refer that one back to the Board of Education. But all of that up to date has been completed.
I'd like to commend you all for extending our services to the park, because the park is a great place for families in the city of Quitman. But I'd like, for it to be on public record that we have no obligation to do any of these changes, and I think that it was a great recommendation on behalf of Council Member Legacy to assist Ms. Lee in this, and you all have gone above and beyond what we could have expected for you all to do. And I just think I'd like to commend you all for the excellent and excessive work that you did to help maintain and get the park in a suitable condition for families to enjoy it, even though it wasn't, it's not our property to maintain.
Thank you. Item number 6, we have representatives from the Mr. Kenneth Armstrong from the Veterans of the Foreign War, and they would like to address the council regarding Memorial Day and Veterans Day services.
Okay, I'm gonna let Mike handle this.
Yes, I started to say something real funny because I know one of the council members here, and I've been in high school, but in behalf of the time here, let me just say, Virgil, it's a pleasure seeing you again.
Still here.
But the VFW local, I'm the post commander of local post 5659, and we would strongly urge you and invite you to attend. We put on 2 services each year on the east lawn of the courthouse. Memorial Day, which is a federal holiday, and Veterans Day, November the 11th, which is a federal holiday. Memorial Day this year will be the 25th of May. And we would cordially extend an invitation to any and all of you to be present at those services. So I guess I put that in the form of a motion. I guess from a personal standpoint, speaking as a Vietnam veteran, I guess it's my opinion that we would like to see elected officials at services like this. And I know it's not always easy to attend something like that, but 11 o'clock, which would be Monday, May 25th, we would extend our invitation to any of you to attend, and to the public at large. You're more than welcome to attend. This year's speaker, I'll go ahead and tell you, is someone, Virgil, that probably ran around, through, and over you on the football field. His name is Larry Green, who was played football at Florida State under Coach Bill Peterson. So, from Cairo, that's right. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
I'd like to personally thank you on behalf of the city, and I am a veteran myself. I've been to Iraq twice. So, I'm retired and a disabled veteran. So, if I'm not doing anything, I'll be there. I was there last year. So, I'll be there if I'm not doing anything. It's good to be around the brothers and sisters in arms. And thank you for coming to let us know personally.
You bet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 7 is the Mullinax family request. The family of Mr. Charlie Mullinax is requesting permission to install coping around their lot located in Oak Hill Cemetery. I've attached copies of the previous council discussion regarding coping and also the existing rules, and I think the Mullinax family would like to speak and address the council.
I'm Bonnie. I'm sorry. I'm Bonnie Hogue. I'm Charlie Mullinax. We just lost my dad not quite 2 months ago. He had written out his funeral and drew out his headstone, which he wanted it done. And he had requested that he put coping around their headstones and fill them with rocks. And when the guy come out to deliver and check on putting the coping down, he was told he couldn't put it down. We were here, this is my little brother Ed, my mother Jenny Mullinax, my sister Linda, and my oldest brother Glenn, all here to ask for petition for it to be accepted because it's neat, it's clean, it's easier maintenance. When I went around all the cemetery, I found like 7 or 8 out there that had coping around it. The plots were bought back in '68.
There was no coping rule back in '68
Yes,
when they bought it.
and just feel like to a point, you kind of like grandfathered in because of before the ordinance was brought in. And on my daddy's last dying wish was that their plots be fixed like this because he did not want slabs, because so many slabs sink and everything. And we're here to ask for y'all acceptance for his last dying wish to be able to put the coping around their headstones. And it's like I was explaining to Mr. Herod, I've been gone for 20-something years, and every time I come home before my dad died, I was out there at the cemetery putting out new flowers for my grandparents, which lie next to my dad, which a lot of y'all know, Edgar Mullinax. And it will be well taken care of, groomed, if it's done by us or whoever. But I know a lot of the maintenance out there, you spend a lot of money. Everybody spends a lot of money on their headstones, slabs, or whatever may they put down. And my grandmother's slab's been chipped because, you know, they get in a hurry. And I understand they have a lot of graves too, maintenance. But to me, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't know if any of the other people need to see it, this is what they're wanting done. You weed eat around the coping and behind the headstone, and that's it. Where you've got, like this could be, is hard to be maintenance because you got to go in between, you know, and stuff, in between the graves. And this was something that my dad wanted, and he had drew out in his, he planned his own funeral, and he had drew out exactly how he wanted it, and we're just asking and pleading for your acceptance and for it to be allowed to be done.
Is it? I've been provided with some documentation, and the cemetery law says, as you are aware of, is that item number 3, no fences, railings, copings, cradles, barrels, edges, and et cetera. So there was some research done, and the boards, this was presented to them back in 95, and 1999. And even though it seems to me they have made a decision, but they didn't act on that decision. So we are not subject to what decisions that they made. So if anybody has anything different or reading this improperly, just let me know. So the council would have to look at this, and they would have to make a decision from what we know of today. With the information today, I don't know what a coping will do as far as the maintenance or the engineering part of it. Does anyone else know? There's any information on the copings?
All I know is the guy that's gonna put the headstone up, he had made the remark that it's easier to maintenance because you gotta go around the headstone, around the edge of the coping instead of in between the graves and risk people spending $2,000 and $3,000 and $4,000 for these slabs or these headstones.
There's a lot of them
Getting
getting
chipped
hit
up.
with riding mowers and get chipped, they crack, they run into them. This would prevent that. All he'd have to do is weed it around the edge and it's done. We
And-
talked to the man in charge of the cemetery, and he told us that he didn't have problem. We'd have to ask the city council, you guys, and y'all could approve it, that it would be up to y'all.
And I went over to the cemetery and I think I found like 6 or 7 out there. And that one picture looked fairly new, was the newest looking one that didn't look like it had been down very long. In Oak Hill Cemetery.
I think that, we're ready to make a decision. The coping is not a problem. I think we also need to change the rules to allow coping, but still, not allow fencing, the other verbiage that was used in the previous, rules. Coping is nice. It, and the cemetery has many. Thank you guys for asking. I think some people don't ask, they just do. But if possible, I'll make a formal motion that we approve the Lennox family to proceed with the coping, but and change the rules that will allow coping and still disallow fencing and other major construction in the cemetery.
Okay, I just have a few questions. I know that the plot has so many plots on it, or not, is it lot, has so many plots and lots in it? Which one is it?
Plot has so many lots.
Okay, plot has so many lots on it. Okay, all right, okay, we got an expert. Okay, so,
You're gonna have to be very well done.
okay, so I'm not sure if,
But it's measured, I mean, it covers your side, it covers their plot that they're putting.
Yeah, on just our plots.
Yes, okay, it doesn't proceed to anyone else.
okay, so, are we gonna have someone from the city make sure that, just in case someone wants to cope a whole plot?
Well, they can cope their own.
Yeah.
their own
That won't
plot.
be any boundary disputes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and stay within the boundaries. Are there stobs out there? Is there anything?
They're called corner markers.
Corner markers, there are corner markers, okay.
We can
Now,
have one on-
with the coping that he plans to put around with our corner markers,
It's gonna put
they're
up with
gonna
my
be
grandparents.
on the corner of each of that way, they were constantly getting run over. And we had to end up putting stops because people were running over, because there's so many out there that's up out of the ground, turned sideways, and ours kept getting run over, so my little brother went out there and cleaned all around our cornerstones and put stobs that way. When people turned down the side road, on each side, there's a road of our big plot. They will get run over, so he fixed it where there would be stops, but nobody would continuously run over them.
Well, I would also like to say, sir, that as far as maintenance, my family will keep it clean.
Yeah.
And we will take care of it. If we don't expect anybody to take care of it, we will take care of it.
And
It's
that's,
something that looks nice, you know, and that's what he wanted. And it looks neat, and we will keep it clean.
Okay.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Well, in regards to, your motion, Mr. Ramsey, I do agree that we need to, make sure that the rules for all cemeteries are changed in regards to the coping, well, basically to fit the specifications of the motion that you made, not just in Oak Hill, North End, any other city maintained cemetery, so, I'll second your motion.
Well, it wasn't a motion yet.
He did make a formal motion.
I have to call it. So, he said if I didn't mind. So, yes, yes, the cemetery deeds will have to be redone also. So, now you can make your motion.
So move to change the rules, to allow for coping and to still, prohibit, fencing and other, major construction in the cemetery.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? All in favor, raise your hands.
thank you
Yes,
from
you
the bottom of
have.
our heart, I would appreciate it
You're welcome.
so much. Means the world to us.
You're welcome. And I forgot to say when I first started off, once we finish with whatever it is you came for, you can stay for the rest of the meeting, or you can go. It's up to you.
We're probably gonna leave unless some of these people let us stay in the middle.
Yeah, I feel like I can sit down.
So you're welcome to stay now, man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna hope you heard me say, it. I don't,
Oh,
you know what I mean? I'm
well,
not being
thank you,
rude, I
sir.
just don't want you to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've been. All right, thank you. Yes,
If others want to come in and fill in the spots, the empty spaces, they can. We have about 3 more. I see 3, maybe 4.
Thank you. Our next item is Mr. John Giles, from the Electric Cities of Georgia. He will be addressing item number 8 and item number 9.
Mayor and Council, thank you. I was a little disappointed. I thought everybody came for me to talk about this amendment, so I'll take about an hour. And, all right. What I've done is, I have a lot of documents, but I put them in a folder for you to take and enjoy at your leisure later. I'm not gonna go through all that, but what you have before you, that I sent you a copy of, is for Electric Cities of Georgia, you and the other 51 cities own the organization. So anything that we change, we have to ask you for those approvals. And so what we have done is send a resolution and an amendment out to change 2 things. How we allocate our cost related to engineering. If you remember, we have an engineer in South Georgia that is assigned to Quitman and a few other cities. And then the other change is what we call analytics, which is cost studies, rates, and how we collect for that. So what the membership is being asked to be okay to do is, instead of billing engineering on kilowatt hours and line miles and customers, we now have existed for 5 years. We spun out from Manning 5 years ago. So we have 5 years of hourly data where we helped your community cost related to engineering and the cost related to analytics on 5 years of actual hours that were used by Quitman and the other 51 members. So it's a change in methodology. Some win, some lose, because every time you change something, but we're nonprofit, so we're zero sum. It just helps a few and hurts a few. So that's in our preliminary budget that we had the board approve last week. We need 75% of the members to approve this amendment. That has happened. We have 75%, but I would ask you not to let that affect your decision. You're all one joint action group, so I would ask you to still consider approving the amendment and adopting the resolution to change the methodology. That's the short story about why I'm here.
Okay, I have some questions. It doesn't mention in here whether this is gonna, one was the vote, it says it's 52 political subdivisions.
There are 52 cities in Georgia that sell electricity.
Okay, because MEAG only has 49.
We have Chickamauga as one of our cities. They're served, they have their own system, but they get power from TVA. We have Hampton, where the racetrack is at. We help them. MEAG doesn't because they're served by Needham City. And there is Dalton, who owns their own generation. So MEAG doesn't serve them, but they take us for services. So that's the three that are different between MEAG and ourselves.
Okay. Generally, in the 75%, was it on the previous contract or not?
The 52 members signed the original contract 2 years ago, in 2013, and it is just a rolling contract that is in effect. This only amends how we allocate the cost related to engineering and analytics. Doesn't change any other part of the contract, it's just an amendment.
So it's so this will not change the fees or anything.
Well, it does change how we allocate engineering cost. It used to be 4 different allocators, and now it's just gonna be one, which is how many hours you've used the last 5 years. When we first spun out, we didn't have data. And so we used, how much energy do you sell? How many miles of line do you have? It was good, but now we have good data. So we're allocating costs on how much time did we spend in Quitman versus Thomasville versus Moultrie, and that's how you pay for cost. And it's still cheaper than market-based rates because we're joint action, we're nonprofit, but it's a different way.
Mr. Smith, you said you have peer review.
No, Mr. Mayor, I don't have any problems with it. This is, like you said, it's just a change in the methodology of allocating that particular cost to the organization based upon the usage over the past 5 years. So that's fine. I'd recommend approval.
And you said, whether we approve this or not, we're still under it.
Because the 52 members own the organization, 75% means it's done. Well, we've been at this for 2 months. We have 75%, but that doesn't stop me from please asking all of the members to make the same action and adopt the same agreement.
And our current contract with you ends when?
It's a rolling, if you want to end the contract, it's a 2-year opt-out notice.
2 years.
So it's a rolling contract, 2 years at a time, so if you want out, you provide a letter now, and it's a 2-year opt-out clause. I will say, Mayor, you've used these services for about 30 years, so we can show the value if we need to when it comes to the budget. So I'll take your pleasure. If you need some more information, I'll be glad to come back.
Does the council have any questions of Mr. Johns? Is there a motion?
I'm making
form of motion, you accept the approved amendment of the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions? All in favor, raise your hands. It's unanimous.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Item number 10 is information. Mr. Gaspar has notified the city of the return check in the amount of $41,355.25 will be returned to the city of the portfolio of the funds. I apologize. Item number 11 is air conditioning at DFAX building. There was a change order submitted relating to the AC work that was proposed at the DFAX building on 4/29/15. Change order is required due to a conflict in the units that were existing. For lack of a better word, there was a 6-ton outside unit that was being forced into a 5-ton inside air handler. And you can tell just from that description, 6 tons won't go to 5 tons. The contractor notified the city, everything was on the ground. We made an on the scene evaluation, talked with the contractor. He recommended making everything mirror the way it should have been to begin with. This change order resulted in a reduction in the bid slightly. We approved the change order before the parts were ordered. He returned the wrong air handler. The air handler would have required a 6-ton, and the ceiling would have required structural changes to the interior of the building, which has driven up the cost. I approved the change order, and we are recommending payment to J&J for $21,850.
Well, when the bid came through, the council had to approve the bid, correct?
Yes, sir.
Had to accept the bid, approving the contract. So I don't understand how you can change the contract without the council's approval.
I feel that I had the ability, as in any job, if there's a change in the middle of the job, because in almost any of our jobs that we confront, there are circumstances that come up in the job that require attention. It could be a water line location, a sewer line relocation, that as we're in the middle of the construction, it's better to go ahead and address it at that time. Had this resulted in an overage of the bid, I would have called y'all independently, but I would have also recommended move forward instead of leaving the building with inadequate air conditioning.
Well, once the council has decided on something, the only person that can change that is the council. And someone else explained something else to me. So, I don't care if the amount is smaller, it matters not, because I'm under the impression that there's some subject matter expert that's giving us information that this bid is written off of. So if someone changes the dynamics of the job and something fails, the council will still be held responsible for what's going on. This building had a 6-ton air conditioner in it. It now has a 5-ton. In August, we will find out whether that 5-ton is capable. I have a friend that works AC, and they measure cubic feet or inches or to determine what size the air conditioner is in there. So when this change order was done, was there an engineer involved in this bid?
The air conditioner contractor is the one that advised us. We had a 6-ton outside, but it was not doing the job because there was a 6-ton outside condenser unit and a 5-ton air handler inside. That doesn't jive. It should be 4-ton, and that could have been the issue since this building has been built.
Well, when they accept the bid or put in for the bid, doesn't the contractor come and look at the job and see what is necessary for the job to be handled?
No, sir, they go to the site, which they did in this case because there was some other construction involved in there, but I believe everything was handled properly.
Well, I didn't receive any phone calls much time necessary to make sure that the city is run efficiently. So if we had to call a meeting to do this change order to authorize it, then that is the way it should have been done. So now the problem is I'm not sure if this 5-ton is capable of handling this building. And if we just blindly approve this without understanding the dynamics, because you said, this person said it will work. Well, that's my interpretation of what you said, but I have nothing sitting in front of me showing me otherwise. The J&J, that I don't have any paperwork saying that a 5-ton can handle this much square footage. I don't have any documentation in front of me. So I believe until we receive such documentation, that the council will not call a vote for this. So once J&J provides us with documentation saying that 5-ton will.
I think I offered that to you Friday, that I would be glad to put that in writing and get it in writing indicating that, and your indication was to me that would not satisfy you.
You told me you would give me a letter saying you did it under your authority, but
I think we need to move on it myself.
No,
I think we ought to have a motion.
I'm not calling the vote. I need to see paperwork. It's not my money, it's the city's money.
You know what?
It's not our money, I'm not calling the vote.
Well, I'm asking you to call for a vote.
Well,
That's your job.
you're out of order?
I am.
No,
I'm out of order.
Because there's a process for everything. Yes, you are. If you read your
Well, I'm
chart.
sorry, I'm out of order,
Well,
but I want us to make a
okay, well,
motion.
I heard you, I said that you are out of order. The charter says that I decide what the rules are in here at this meeting.
I don't think that the charter states that you determine the correct parliamentary procedure, because parliamentary procedure is not dictated on one person's interpretation
It does say
of
that.
the order.
It said there is
It
no
does not say
argument
that.
if I say what the rules are.
Mr.
Mr. Spencer can tell you that because
Mr. Spencer,
you wrote most of
the
this.
rules of order says that any individual can call for a vote.
No, it says
If
I bring the
2/3
question to the council.
If 2/3
It's
of the
negative.
council wants to call for a
Negative.
vote, any individual can call for a vote.
Tell you what, show me where it says that.
It doesn't have to say it.
Because I have my charter right here. Do you have yours? Show me.
No, I don't have my charter.
Okay, well, I read
We
my
don't
charter.
need it.
We don't,
Okay.
because that's
Well,
not the,
you know what?
in that case.
It says that I run the meeting, okay?
Robert's rules of
On
order
to the next
at
item.
the time in the
On to the
charter.
next item. You are out of order.
I move to a point of order.
Thank you.
A point of order is only for information. I read that too. So if you want information, you can get information, but a point of order does not call a vote.
We're gonna refer to the city attorney.
Well, you should refer to the city attorney, and I can show you where it says that I am the one that decides
Well,
what
I wanna
is.
be out of order one more time. I wanna ask Ms. Lewis to get this in the pre-test. We need to let the people know how you are acting.
We need to let people know that you just willing to sign the contract, because I don't know why, but we have a job to do. And if I can't do that job, I don't wanna be up here. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, I wish you'd get out of it.
But guess what? Your wish doesn't count. So, let's move on. You're out of order. Move on to the next
Mr.
item.
Spencer, would you please offer your professional opinion as to which direction council needs to go? You're the chief parliamentary officer.
There's no such thing.
He is the chief parliamentary
That's
officer
negative.
because we hired him for his legal expertise.
Not
And
chief
conducting a
parliamentary.
meeting is a legal situation. So, Mr. Spencer, what should we do?
Ma'am,
Where, Mr. Spencer?
We're gonna meet.
Mr. Spencer?
the mayor has a point, because it does say pretty close to what he's saying. But rise to a point of order means that what Mr. Blankenship did was, he rose and said that something was not as it should be. Now, he also has a right, once you make your decision on that point of order, and you do make those decisions, I think that the full board, he can call for an appeal. I appeal the decision of the chair, that's in Robert's Rules of Order, which we of course have adopted. So if he makes an appeal to the decision of the chair, it does not need a second, and a vote is called. If the vote is called and the chair is upheld, that's the end of it. If the vote is called and the chair is not upheld, then the decision of the body is what is supposed to control the chair in regard to that point. Now, in this particular situation, we have a lawfully adopted agenda. We have an item that is on that adopted agenda, and a member of the council wishes to put forth a motion. So I think, based on my interpretation, it is in order, and I do not see, and I put this particular question on the website of Robert's Rules of Order yesterday, got several responses from different people, and also spoke with GMA this morning, because I anticipated this decision would come up. Spoke with Mr. Patel, and his opinion is identical to mine as far as what I just got to say. So I think legitimately, Ms. Bauer can make a motion if she wants to, and I think you are, in my opinion, obligated to accept the motion and let the council vote on it.
Well, what you say sounds good, but if we're doing something that's wrong, if we're doing something that's not proper, then I will not be a part of it. So I will not call the vote on those grounds that we need more information, because someone made a change order and it wasn't done properly, because I have no information as to, as I said, whether this 5 tons can even handle this building. I have no information, the council has no information, so we can't make the decisions based off of non-information. That is not the way to run the city. That is not the way to represent your district, your people, your constituents. So I will not call the vote, because not just to not call the vote. It's not about power here, it's about doing what's right. So, and if I can't do what's right, I don't even want to be on the board. And you just told me you don't have any paperwork. Well, I don't know, do you have any paperwork saying that?
Mayor, I offered to get all that to you Friday. This was done above board. The contractor came to me. It would have required extensive structural changes in the building. His professional opinion as a licensed air conditioning contractor was the reason it has not been functioning properly was because of this error in the beginning of construction.
Well, I think I told you once before, you represent the city.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want you speaking on behalf of anyone when there's a dealing between us and them. I want them to show up before us, because if they think there's something that we need from them or they need from us, then I need to talk to them. So I'm not discussing things with my council that we don't even have a clue of what's going on. So if Mr. J&J was, I didn't tell him not to come here. I mean, he knows what's at stake, and so that's how we're gonna deal from now on. If the person that wants to deal with us needs to be here, because if questions don't get answered, then we're not just gonna be blind and signing checks and doing whatever, not as long as I'm running the business.
Mr. Mayor, I appeal from the decision of the chair. We're not discussing the quality of work. We have already agreed to accept the bid. It's our duty now to pay the contractor. I understand your concern, and you're asking for a warranty on 5 tons. That's exactly what we should have. We should have a warranty. We should understand that the warranty will work. But we have agreed to pay the contractor. It is now our duty to pay the contractor. And if anything was to come up, there are recourses, there's avenues to recoup if there is a problem with the contractor.
As you said, we agreed to pay the contractor upon the certain circumstances which were changed by who? Not us. So, like I said, let's move on to the next item.
So I will like to, is there, so you've already made the motion, Mr. Williams?
No, you are out of order. You are only the mayor pro temp in my absence.
I
So
I'm just
you
acting as
don't,
a council
so
member.
you're not, okay, well then,
going
all
on
your
the
questions
advice
are
of
to
the
be
attorney,
addressed to me.
And he said that
Everything that you
if
state is to
he
be
said-
addressed to
I'm
me.
talking directly
So,
to
okay,
you,
when
Mayor
you don't
Brown.
talk to the council, you can't call a vote.
But I'm
Unless I
talking-
say is there a second,
But
no
if
one
the
says there's a
appeal,
second.
once he appeals, it's basically saying that
It
the
doesn't
chair
matter. You're not gonna
is
sit
out
up here
of
and do
order.
anything you want, no matter what the charter says, you know, or what the dealings
Cheryl,
of
did you
business are.
advise us that once
We're
Kendall
going on
made
to the
the
next item,
appeal,
Mr.
and then
We're not holding up, that
Did
is
you say
it.
that-
I can cease
did you say
any
that
discussion,
when-
that's what the charter
did you
says.
say
Am
that
I correct, Mr.
Kendall
Spencer?
made the
He's
Can I-
got a
can I-
right, Mr. Mayor, to call, to appeal the decision of the
Appeal a
chair
decision based off of what?
based upon Robert's Rules of Order being adopted by the
Robert's Rules
charter.
of Order does not conduct a change order.
No, sir.
When you have business that's conducted, that is not
But
covered by
Mr. Mayor,
Robert's Rules of
please,
Order.
sir, I don't interrupt you, please let me
Okay,
finish
well,
what
I
I'm
said we're moving on to the next thing. I heard your professional opinion, and I listened to your professional opinion, but you're not gonna badger me. This meeting needs to be in order, and I am calling order now, and I'm saying that we move on to the next item. Thank you.
What the rest of them for?
I agree.
You can adjourn.
I didn't adjourn.
Okay? Don't speak out of turn. Item number, next item.
I need to know what to do on this man's bill.
Mr. J&J needs to come before the council, and we need to discuss business with Mr. J&J.
The council hasn't decided in any form of fashion if you want him to appear before us. You don't, if you're speaking for yourself and you're not acknowledging the
That's
totality
enough,
of the
you're out of
council,
order.
then
Let's move
there's
to the
nothing,
next item.
you can't
Mr.
direct him,
J&J.
you cannot direct
Yes, I
the
can.
city manager
Yes.
without our approval as a council. You
I
can't
am the
direct him.
chief executive
You
officer
can't
of this
direct
city.
him
Do you
without the
think so?
approval of
I
the
tell you what,
council.
get in your charter and read it and stop me then.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Have you ever read the charter?
Oh, I have read it several times.
Okay, well, you need to read it.
Read it today.
All right, move on to the next item. On to the next item.
I work for the council as whole, and I think they have asked that this not be left right now. Is that correct, council members?
That's
That's
fine, but
correct.
you don't ask the council member anything.
I did not.
Okay,
That was
well
a
then-
statement.
Okay, well, I told you to move on.
I
to the next
respectfully decline.
Okay, well, you respectfully need to be fired then, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, you know, there are people.
No, you can't.
Now, why is he telling them to be quiet? You told me, no comments from the peanut gallery, no comments from none of the peanut gallery.
So, I'm not playing any more games. It's time to move on. Next item on the agenda, Mr. City Manager.
We're at the bill. Next time.
Item number 12. If you refuse to move on, then, see. Mr. Preston Mickens, are you here? Mr. Mickens, are you here? Nope, okay. Well, item number 13, item number 14. Skip over that one. That's the red tech loan. I have not seen the documentation from the loan committee. So you can do whatever you want, but it would be documented that you got it. Citizens concerned, Mr. Christian. Is
Yes, about the drainage leak down here on South Walker.
okay.
The council is aware of it already, so I just want to know what the status on it.
Gerald has advised you all to leave. Okay, well, Gerald needs to be fired too. And November's coming up quick. So, okay. I'll be addressing your concerns.
We have a gentleman from the architect.
But they wanna walk out, that's them. Mr. Electric, if you want to speak.
I didn't come here to speak, I just came here to listen. just opened up the old microcraft building. And in the process, we came across a lot of repairs and things that need to be done. To say, replace air conditioners. The outside is just kind of run down. It's been empty for like 9 years. So it took a lot of work. And what we've done when we first came to Quitman was look into different things in the area as far as EIP financing and revolving loan funds. And one of the things that the city of Quitman offered was an opportunity to access the revolving loan fund in order to make these repairs.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Could you? Well, that's okay. This is Nikki Bradley, Mr. Kendall Bankruptcy, Mr. Gerald Spencer, and Mr. Walker are leaving. And it is now 7. They walked out of the meeting, and it hasn't been adjourned. Okay, thank you.
Anyways, we're looking at the revolving loan fund in order to purchase new equipment for the building, not just the building, but for manufacturing. We brought 25 jobs over with us from Valdosta into the Microcraft building, which is now the Electric building. I think everybody's seen the sign up front. And what we're planning on doing is hiring another 30 more people in there within the next few years. It'll be gradual. We've already hired 5 since we've been there. But what we're trying to do is with the revolving loan fund is, like I said, equipment that we need. Air conditioners are in bad shape. They've been on the building, some of them have been on the building since '91 when it was built. I don't know if any of you remember Microcraft or not.
Oh, yes.
I was the plant manager there since it opened up in '91. I left in 2004, bought a different company. Microcraft closed in 2006. It got bought up by the Japanese and they kind of closed it down. There was 460 people in there at the time, one of the largest employers. My family built that building, purchased the land and everything, so I had kind of an attachment to it. So when my company was growing, the first thing I thought was that building. You know, it's a perfect place. I've been to Quitman before. Quitman's a great place. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. People coming in, applying for jobs. So I remember you, Mr. Brown. I remember you, Mr. Brown. And I can't remember all their names, but you can remember their faces. But anyways, I'm just giving you a little bit of history about Microcraft. I mean, about Electric. But you're all welcome to come and visit. See us. I was going to give you a call anyways because you're the mayor of the town. See if you were interested in seeing what we're doing, the jobs we're trying to create. And with that, that's what I just came here to hear what was going on, see what the results of the revolving loan fund were, so we can move forward. I've got an air conditioning guy. It's not J&J though, but sitting there waiting for approval to get those units put on the building. And as far as the other equipment, we've already spent some money on lawn equipment, things like that, to keep the property looking nice and all that stuff. That's just, again, I was just here just to follow up and see what was going on.
Okay. Well, I have some information for you. Here's my card form. Could you, that's okay. The meeting is not in effect because we only have one council member here, Mr. Walker, and he's leaving. So, I'm just here with the people now. They all walked out and just don't care about their responsibilities. All right. Okay. So, there's no reason to continue this meeting, everyone, but I do hope that you see what just happened, and I'm just trying to serve you the best that I can. And because there's no vote, they've all left. The meeting wasn't even adjourned. So this will be documented, and I'm sorry that you have a council that does not want to follow procedures, follow rules, and hopefully next meeting, this will not happen. So,
Mr. Mayor, you're making a speech, a political speech, and, you know, that's not what the council's for. You're bad-mouthing the council, and you're one
No,
person
no,
on the
listen,
council.
listen. I'm not bad mouthing anyone. They walked out. They have
They
a job to
did,
do.
because you are not letting them do their job.
That's what you think.
Yes, sir, that is.
Okay, all right. Well,
And
that's
a lot
what
of
you
other
think.
people think that
Okay,
also.
well then I'll tell you what. That's what they think.
Mhm.
But I tell
But
you,
I mean, you sitting there making a speech about how well you're serving, and they're out there, they think they're serving, and they are serving, because they're trying to get jobs in here, trying to go ahead and take care of the business, so this person can hire people, and we can go on with the city. And Mr. Herring is
We have
trying
procedures
to make
to
sure
follow.
that the defects building is not sitting there with no air conditioning for people that are having to come in there and sit.
well, I have
There's a
procedures to follow.
fine
There's no
unit.
good old boy system here.
Well, then we don't need to hear your voice.
Okay, and I'll tell you this, I work for a contractor, and when you have a contract, and you work for that for another city, he cannot make a change without getting the city approval.
That's right.
When, if he says that this road cannot be put in this way, we need to do this and this and this, in order for that to happen, he takes it to the engineer goes to the city. Once the city has approved it, then they come back with something in writing and tells us to move forward. It's never done without that city approval, because see, without, that city is paying us. And if you do not have that city approval, how can we expect the city to pay me? And I mean, that's it. I work for a contractor. I understand how it works when you're in the contract. You have to report to the people who pay your paycheck, and that's the city and the city council and the mayor. They're the ones who say, this order's okay, yes, we can change that, yes, we approve that. Once it's been approved correctly, then that change is made. Now, I'm not
So,
saying,
J&J, you think should have put and shoved a 6-ton unit
No.
into a 5-ton
I
handle.
think they should have written a change order up, just like I did today. You write a change order up. You send it to the city engineer or whoever's in charge. That person takes it to the city managers, the city council.
The city
Once
manager is
And that was
there,
done.
that
The
was
city
handled, that was
It
there.
takes it to the city council, because see, what they told us is, I sent it to the engineer came back and said, I've met with the city, they have approved your change. He didn't say I met with one person, he didn't say I met with the mayor, he didn't say I spoke with only one person. I met with the city of Valdosta, and they have approved your change. So, if, I want to be represented by everybody. I want everybody on this council to have a say, to make sure, because see, if I'm living in that district and something go wrong, I'm looking at the person in that district. I'm not looking at that city manager. I'm looking at that person I elected.
Those people were trying to vote.
They
They
were
didn't have the
voting
proper
after the fact.
documentation.
I agree, they were trying to vote. It was after the fact. All I said is J&J should have put the change order in. It should have came to the city first, and then it would have been approved.
It
I'm
did.
not saying
That
that.
was followed. There was a change order.
it didn't
He
come
came
to the
to us.
city council.
And I approved
It came to the
And
And
city
that would be no
manager.
different if we use that logic, and Mr. Devane is here, we've done CDBG grants for federal money. We've had crews on the ground digging a trench to put a water main in, and we have a conflict pop up. When we have 20 men on the ground, we document the change order, is that correct, Mr. Devane?
Emergency.
And then we move ahead with that, and then we disclose it later, because it's not practical to stop something like that. And that could be street paving. If we're paving and we have 5 truckloads of hot asphalt behind it, and we run into an issue right before it.
The roads are bad.
So you're saying, but it only has to be approved by one person.
No,
It only has to be
No.
approved by one person, is what you're telling me.
This was looked at by our purchasing person. We have done work with J&J before. They were,
I'm not disputing
they
that.
were competitive with other companies. Structural changes would have been done. The initial contractor was not right. But everything you said was followed.
So
No,
a
that's
change
negative.
order was written.
That's
A change order
There
was
was
written.
there was a new quote. They talked to us about what the
Who
cost
did they
was.
talk to?
To the purchasing agent and to me. And then the purchasing agent put it in writing to me, and I approved the work to proceed.
So you can approve any work to proceed once
In the
it's
past,
been passed by the
in
council.
the past, when there has been a conflict, which happens in almost everything we do, we have moved on to keep the job going.
We
In
need
Mr. Christian's ditch down there, I think we had to place another section of pipe in that wasn't approved by the council. We went ahead and did that. We went back later and cut some other ditches in. It is not uncommon that we do that.
But see, this is a bid. Mr. Christian was not a bid. A bid follows strict guidance, strict orders, strict regulations. And they changed, so they went from order, so let me get this right. If I'm listening to your story. They ordered a
It's not my story,
Okay,
it's the truth.
okay, well, your truth is they ordered a 6-ton air conditioner because they went and looked at the job before they started, before they accepted it. And they ordered a 5-ton handler. So all of a sudden, you called me about a week ago saying
No, that's not correct.
they wanted the money up front for the
That
equipment.
is not correct.
Okay, well, how did they end up with a 5-ton handler and a
It was built into the building, Mayor. When you build a building, you put the air handler in.
No, I'm saying that's not what's in the building now. What they're putting in there is not what's in there now.
Yes, it is.
A 5-ton
There's a
is in there.
5-ton air handler exactly
And there's-
that was in there initially.
And there's a
The
5-ton.
outside condenser unit was not compatible, it was in there. This was something that nobody knew somebody could do. So you're right, there is exactly what was inside that roof, what that construction.
All change orders need to come through the council.
That's right.
We watch the budget, we set the budget. Even if someone else does it, we approve the budget. We're the only ones that approve anything. And if you think anything otherwise, then I guess you just need to go to Mr. Herring for everything and don't come to us. And see how that goes. But you're free to leave. It's over.
This is a city building. I pay taxes and pay your own life.
No matter what you do, it has to be decent.
Now, it's been handled in the past, but is that the procedure, or is it just, okay, I'm gonna tell you this, when I became a supervisor, I wrote it down. The judge called me, and he says, what is your, okay, on handling the clients, you know, to be paid. How we do it, this is our procedure. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's right. Why don't I
They have
but basically it's probably for me to sit in front of my calendar, because I've got a couple of meetings to attend to. And then we get on the same page, we set a date, and then I have some time to do it.
Where are you from?
Originally, yes, from Germany.
Oh, wunderbar. In Deutschland,
Well, how are you going to somebody here?
Yes, all good.
No, you go to six.
Not schlecht.
Right, well, see, okay, that's,
That's been
right.
40 years ago, and I forgot it, but ich liebe.
Because it is.
I cried. This is
Well, you know,
Kaiser's Lord.
Okay, that's not possible.
Ramstein. Where are you from?
I'm close to Bainheim.
Yes.
45 minutes.
But this was back in the 60s. The mark was first born.
right.
And the mark was born.
And what
G.B.R.
You all had a lot of money.
Well, see, and I understand what you're saying.
But anyway, you must have married American.
I think there was times in that you could have been
That's how I ended up, that's how I ended up.
And see, the other part is,
I've been
it
here for
could
over
be
20
that
years.
This is how it's been done for years, but it's not necessarily the way it's supposed to be done.
She is,
And see, that, you see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm finding out. If this is how it's been done for years, but not necessarily how it should be done.
but he was over there in the sixties, and he met her, she'd been here a long time.
Okay.
So I'll tell her about
And
you.
that would be nice. I would love to.
And they go back every year.
I tried to go, you know, year and a half. But all my family.
Well, we'll get together.
Definitely. Yes, ma'am. That's the proclamation. And any other meeting, I want you to call, and then I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because I don't even know.
I mean, it was approved, the agenda was approved, the minutes were approved. Just don't know, that may be a question that I need to post.
So is that in the?
Since the meeting is properly entered, it's still okay to sign. It's okay if I go and ask.
Well, no, it's just some limit.
Okay.
We still have time.
Without coming back, so that you can keep it.
Now, and that's what I'm saying, but if it's in there, the way they handled tonight was not professional to me.
Yes, okay.
If, then they should have said, look, okay, we're not saying we're never gonna pay this man. They're asking us to put it on hold, let us investigate this. He never said, I don't wanna pay him. J&J did the work, and apparently they did a good job at it. It was never said they don't wanna pay him.
Well,
What was the matter with saying, let's look at it and figure out what we did this time would cause all this hoopla, and stop it.
I'm going to make a copy right now.
Yeah, he was gonna pay it.
Why not do it and say, look, you gotta fix this for future.
No.
If you had the mayor saying, all I want is some information, and everybody else is saying, we don't need information, why does nobody else feel the need for information?
They already have.
Because it's how it's always been done.
And a lot of times, you have members that don't understand it, when they get the information, they gotta vote one way or the other,
They go with the crowd. But see, the other thing is, what they're looking at is, this is how it's always been done. Why do I need to change? And see, sometimes because it's been done that way for years, it doesn't make it right, it doesn't make it good.
all right.
You need to solve the procedure. Walking out of a meeting ain't a way for something
Let
to
me go
solve
ahead
the
and make
procedure.
a copy of it, and then I'll bring it back.
It's just not. Right.
And
Again,
they're saying according to Robert Rules of Order, he was out.
right.
So.
But then, what are we guided by here? Are we guided by the charter, or are we guided by Robert Rules of Order? And see, that's the thing, if the charter, which one does the charter take preference to?
She did what she did.
The charter refers to Robert Rules of Order, then you get to an interpretation.
What is your group?
Of whether you're following Robert Rules.
And the charter says, I make that call. Whatever I say is what goes.
Documentation, that's what you need.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, otherwise,
Well,
what
see,
we
that,
are,
because see, that's like, when I'm with the Democratic Party, it says, your little county can do this, but it cannot do this because that's in dispute with what the state party says. So, that's what I'm saying, which takes precedence, Robert Rules of Order or the city charter? Now, if the city charter is more important than that Robert Rules of Order, then that should be
Well,
followed.
the city charter refers to Robert Rules of Order to run the meeting. That's what
And
happens.
that's exactly what I
Okay, it refers to it to run the meetings.
To handle it, yeah,
Right.
that's what you're supposed to go by in the meeting. I conduct the meeting with 300 representatives.
Right.
And that's what I do, I use Robert's Rules of Order.
And see, when you use the Robert's Rules of Orders, well, see, I don't know them all per se. I ain't gonna even go sit here and say that I do. But that's what it should, we need to look at it, pull it out, and be able to show it in print. See, when you get into interpretations, I'm gonna interpret it the way I wanna interpret it.
Sure.
You're gonna interpret it the way you wanna interpret it.
And you gotta
Well, let's
come
not
to
get
a
into
conclusion.
interpretation. I wanna see something black and white, right?
Well, a lot of people can read black and white and get a different meaning.
Well, we know that.
So,
Yeah. We know that, look at the Bible. People
Yeah.
that you live there. And we gotta get it done, we got it, this city is, we got to get this city together. And this, I don't know what we're gonna do to get it, but it's got to get together, and it's gotta get better than this. It's gotta get better than this. I mean, I was not at all happy with them walking out.
That's okay, I can, write the governor.
All right, Mr. Devane, thanks. Hey, geek.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right, I can't do it. I ain't gonna sit up here.
Are there some chairs in the kitchen? Danny, are there some chairs in the kitchen? Are there any chairs in the kitchen? Chairs in the kitchen?
Chairs in the kitchen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's now 7 o'clock. And I thank you all and welcome you all to the meeting. And thank you for your concerns. And we are here to serve you. And I would like to ask, well, I'll do it myself. If you'll bow your head in prayer. We'll say the prayer. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, dear Lord, dear God, we thank you for all things.